Okay. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this APM How to Pass session. My name is Luqman Rafiq, and for those of you who don't know me, I have been in teaching profession for more than 13 years now, teaching different papers of ACCA. For this paper APM, I have been teaching it for the last 10 years, and it's one of those papers that for whom I conducted the last 3 webinars also that were organized by ACCA. So I have taught many students from APM across the globe. And the session of today is majorly the whole objective, the whole purpose of this session is to discuss with you people what this APM course is all about, how as a student you can progress through the APM, and what is it that you should do in order to pass the APM paper. Now, before I go on to discuss this, if I could just know that how many of you attempted APM before? Yeah, if I could know that how many of you have attempted APM before? Have you attempted APM earlier? Any one of you have attempted APM earlier? You could message in the chat. You don't have, I mean, am I audible? Okay, who has attempted APM earlier? Okay, I cannot see anyone raising their hands. So probably none of you have attempted APM earlier. Is it the first time for all of you? Yeah, is it the first time for all of you? Hello, are you people there? First attempt. Okay, you attempted. Okay, okay. So good enough. Okay, so majority of you are here for the first attempt. So now let's me just start off. Moses, okay, you have attempted, right? Okay, now let me just start off. I'm just going to have some of the discussion relating to this APM paper, and then I'm going to move on to discuss things with you people that how exactly can you pass this APM paper and what are the things that you should do. So let me just start off. First of all, when we talk about this APM paper, there's something you need to understand. It's an advanced level paper of the performance management paper. And okay, for the APM paper, it's an advanced level paper of the performance management. But if I tell you, APM is actually a mixture of two papers. It's a mixture of performance management plus it's a mixture of SBL paper. It is not meant for those people who are number crunchers. It is meant for those people who actually have got a mindset where they can think logically, where they can argue logically. It's actually made for those people. So if you are one of the students who is either working in the operations department of any entity, who is working towards the quality assurance, who's working towards the quality control, who is working towards the operational excellence, this paper is meant for you. If you are somebody who does not write a lot of practice examination, this paper is meant for you. So this APM examination, let me guide you. This APM examination is made up of the performance management and the SBL, and 80% of the paper is theoretical. 80% of the paper is theoretical. It's not a computational paper. 80% of the paper is actually a theoretical paper. So if you as a student are planning to attempt the APM paper, just keep this thing in mind that the APM paper is 80% theoretical, and it's just that 20% of the paper is numerical paper. Now, what exactly is this APM all about, and what is it that you should do as a student to pass the APM paper? So I'm going to guide you. Now, basically, APM, as it says, it's performance management. Now, when we talk about the performance management actually means that as an organization, you are going to achieve your goals. As an organization, you're going to achieve your objectives. That's what the performance management is all about. And for you to be able to achieve your goals and objectives, there are a lot of things that you need to consider as an organization. Whether it comes to your finance department, whether it comes to your IT department, whether it comes to your marketing department, your sales department, your production department, your HR department, every single department of the organization has to be actually engaged and engaged in a proper manner. Then ultimately you'll be able to achieve your goals and achieve your objectives. So the curriculum of the APM is such that it's an integrated type of paper, because you see what happens is that when you talk about the vision of the organization, when you talk about these different levels of the organization, the operational level, etc., etc. So ultimately what happens is that the performance goes from the operational level up and up and up and up. Ultimately, you end up achieving your vision. So whenever we talk about the concept of achieving the vision, whenever we talk about accomplishing the vision of the organization, always remember you go from the bottom to the top. Always remember you go from the bottom to the top, then you are able to achieve your vision. Now, so basically, in order to study the APM paper, you got to keep this thing in mind that you would have to study from the top to bottom all the areas which lead to the performance improvement of the organization. I've got in front of me a syllabus summary of this APM, and you could see that the number one of this is the strategic planning and control. Now, what do you mean by this is strategic planning and control? So strategic planning and control, you could see there are multiple things, which is what is the strategic management accounting means? What is the strategic perspective of management account? What is the role management accountant is expected to play in order to guide an organization strategically so that it is able to achieve its objectives, it is able to achieve its goals. That's what the strategic management accounting is all about. Then you've got certain other things, which is performance hierarchy, performance management and control, changes in business structure, environmental, social, governance factors. So basically, the first area of this specific APM, which is the strategic planning and control, what does it actually tell you? It tells you how do you plan strategically for the organization. And then what it tells you is that how that strategic planning ultimately have an impact upon the overall control that you exercise on the organization at different levels. So basically, the strategic planning and control is actually referring to creating a strategic perspective from the management accountant's perspective, that how this organization is going to be able to achieve its strategic objectives, the goals, the objectives for which it was originally set up for. The second aspect of this is that the performance management and information system and developments and technology. Now let me guide you something. There's a very important terminology which is performance measurement. When we talk about performance measurement, the measurement of the performance is quantifying the performance. And when we talk about the management of the performance is actually achieving the goals, achieving the objectives, that's management. Now try to understand something. Basically, performance measurement and performance management are linked to each other. I repeat, performance measurement and performance management are linked to each other. How are they linked to each other? So basically, what gets measured gets done. What do you mean by this? Let's say, for example, if I measure the profitability of your company, I repeat, if I measure profitability of your company. So when we measure the profitability of the company, and if the profitability is going down, so that would actually be an indicator for us that we need to fix few things. We might need to focus on cost management. We might need to focus on improving the sales, etc., etc. So basically the measurement, which was the measurement of the profit, actually directed you towards management that you need to take X, Y, Z corrective actions. So therefore, in any organization, managing of the performance would require measurement tools, measurement of that performance. And for you to be able to measure the performance, it's important that you know the organization's information system is up to date, it's appropriate, it's integrated, it's producing appropriate information. So this specific area is about the performance information system, is like how you gather the how you gather the information, how you store it, how you process it, how you produce it into the different forms of report so that the management could take appropriate actions. So basically, initially you would set the strategic perspective, and in order to support that strategic perspective, you would have to introduce the information system which could actually support your strategic perspective. Now, what is the third area of the syllabus? The third area of the syllabus is about strategic performance measurement. Now, I told you about the performance measurement, and now here what actually happens is that you need to have an information system to gather the performance, to gather the data. Once you have gathered the data, so what you would do is that you would measure the performance, you would quantify the performance. And here you have got both the financial and you have got the non-financial aspects. Both of them are there. So there are different type of performance measures. There are different type of performance aspects that we are going to measure, including the measurement of the quality of the organization, that how exactly, to what extent the quality standards are being met. Is the organization producing quality goods and quality products and so on and so forth. Next, if I move forward and if I discuss further, the next aspect is basically about the performance evaluation. And when we talk about the performance evaluation, it's basically when you have measured the performance, then you have to comment on it, you have to evaluate it, you have to judge it, whether it's a good performance, it's a bad performance, what are the weak areas, what are the reasons for the bad performances, how they could be overcome, etc., etc., etc. Now, obviously, I'm not getting into the details, but let me just guide you. When you would be discussing this APM syllabus, you would be talking about each and every aspect, which is the HR aspects, which are the aspects relating to the quality, which are aspects relating to the transfer pricing, which are aspects relating to the divisional structures of the organizational. So different aspects that you would have to consider. I repeat, you would have to consider different aspects. And when you would have to consider different aspects, so ultimately what happens is that, I repeat, ultimately what happens is that this APM paper is one of those papers that is an integrated paper where you would be discussing almost all of the things which you have studied as SBL. You would be discussing all the things almost which you have discussed at the PM level. Now, as a student, what is it that you have to do? So let me guide you. I personally think that in order to pass APM, there is one simple formula, and that is the past exam questions. There is no other alternate to passing the APM exam. I am giving you a guarantee if you attempt the 10 attempts past paper, complete past paper. Each past paper has got 3 questions. So that means I'm telling you, if you attempt 30 questions properly, you will be able to pass the APM. If you attempt 30 questions properly, you'll be able to pass the whole APM paper very easily. It's not a difficult paper to pass. It's not a difficult paper to pass. Believe me, it's not a difficult paper to pass. It's an easy paper to pass. But the thing is that you got to have the right direction, and the right direction is maximum exam practice. You don't have to worry about anything. Maximum exam practice. That's what you have to talk about. Now, basically, I am offering the APM course for the March. It's a recorded course which we are offering for $100. If you are a reset student, we are offering it for $75. And for those of you who would be willing to study for the June session, I would be offering the live batch, and that live batch is going to be worth $125. This live batch would have one live class every week. And in that one live class, I would be delivering the content and I'll be doing the examination question, but that course is going to be finished or completed over a period of 4.5 months. So for those of you who are looking for March session, I'm offering a recorded course. It's for $100. For the reset, it's for $75. You'll get access to our portals, you'll get access to our WhatsApp groups and things, and you could get in touch with us. Now, if you want to contact our admin team, this is the number that you can contact them at +92 345 828 7222. This is the Escribir admin. And if you want to get in touch with me, this is my number. You could get in touch with me and you could actually discuss whatever you would like to discuss. Now, this was a bit about the APM paper. I'm actually going to open the platform for you people. You can ask as many questions you want to ask, and I'll be there to answer your questions. Yes, other you don't have to, inshallah, do anything. Escribir, notes, and past paper is sufficient enough. Okay, Tushita Gupta, if I start now for March, yes, it is very much possible. It is very much possible, but then you would have to follow my directions. You don't have to actually then apply your mind. You would have to follow my direction, and you would inshallah be able to get through. Okay. Okay, Tushita, is there any other question you could unmute also, you could ask, or you could just type out?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am already preparing for SBL paper for March attempt. I have done the syllabus, but now I'm practicing the past papers.
Okay.
So, do you think that doing these two together would be a good idea, or would it be too much to do because these are both professional papers?
Are you a full-time student?
Yes, sir, but I do have college.
Okay, so for how long, how much time do you go to college?
Probably I return till like afternoon, 2 p.m. maybe.
Okay, now what I would actually suggest you is that um, you see the final date for paying the examination fees is 30th of January. You have got time for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks time is available. What you could do is that you could start studying for preparing for APM also. Just try to see for the next 10 days. If you think you can manage both, then go about give both of them. If you think no, you cannot, then obviously give the SBL paper because you are practicing for the SBL and you've already covered up the content of SBL. So what I would suggest is that just give it a try for the next 10 days. Maybe, and in case if you want access to some lectures and with a with an option to pay later, that is also available with us. So like if you decide to enroll for, I mean, like if you decide to give for March, then you can pay. If you don't, then don't pay, and then you can subscribe for June, or maybe you could carry forward your subscription to June. That's what you could do. So like you can have this option in case if you would like to have. So that's what I can actually guide you for this.
So this option will really help me a lot if this is possible.
This is going to be possible. Just message me. You have got my number.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So you have my number. I have actually shared, or you could just message our team also and could just refer to the conversation with me, right? They'll facilitate. Okay, there's one more thing that I would like to say that for those of you who have got some financial constraints, we accommodate students with financial constraints. Plus, if there is any one of you who is struggling to pay right now, because I can understand you have to pay subscription, you have to pay exam fee, and then you have to pay tuition fee also. So if you're short of funds and want to pay after, let's say, some days, so you could just talk to us and we'll facilitate. Don't worry about it. Okay, I've got somebody whose name is Samsung SM. I don't know what's your name, but okay. Uh, okay, there are two questions. KN, for the June exam, do we get notes? Do we need to buy a textbook? No, I'll just give you the textbook. Don't worry, I've got the updated textbook with me. KN, I've got the updated textbook. Okay, Danisha Asasira, you're asking for which part of the syllabus come in section A of the paper. No specific area. Everything can come in any part. So like it's a complete thing. Examiner is not specific. It's like everything can come in every area. Okay. Um, Okay, Lyndall Joseph, do you have any question? Okay, anyone can ask any question. You're most welcome to ask. You could unmute if you want to, or you could just type out. Okay, see, Maneka Silva. Now, how to manage time, right? So basically, what I would tell you is that in order to manage time for this APM, there is no alternate except for practice, practice and practice. And in the examination, I was just telling the same thing in the AFM session that I just conducted right now. In the examination, what happens is that you come across a situation where there's a 10-mark requirement and you know nothing about it. You still waste time on that. So rather than wasting time on that, move on to the next part, next question, and attempt that question to whatever extent that you know. And those parts which you actually don't know anything, because you see, 10-mark question, you know nothing. You spend 10-15 minutes on that, and at the end of the day, you will end up achieving 2 marks only because you know nothing about it. So rather than wasting time on that, why not move on and spend time on something which you actually know? Okay. Um, so I can just call out Samsung, Moses Oko, Maneka Silva, Madeline, Lindell, KN, Danisha, Azhar. Anyone have got any questions? You're most welcome to ask. I'm there to answer your questions. Okay, Maneka, you see what happens is that if you would have seen my past videos also, the way I do it is that when I am studying the case, I try to interpret or I try to reword the case in my own words. That actually makes it quite easy to understand, right? So what I would suggest you is that you do this same approach for the paper and you will be able to get through. Okay, I think all of you are good enough. So what I'll do is that, yes, it's a mix of text. Okay, Danesha Sasira, I would suggest just directly leap onto the past papers. Obviously, the Kaplan kit, it has got the past papers. So just directly leap onto the past papers. Maybe what you could do is that you could search out from the Kaplan kit a topic. Let's say if you studied performance pyramid. So you could just search from the Kaplan kit that where exactly is performance pyramid, which attempt. And maybe you could go to ACCA CB portal and could just open from there and try to attempt it over there. Yes, Lindell, we do offer mock service. It's not included in it. We normally charge $40 for the mock service, but for a registered student, it's going to be $25. Yes, K, you can get that. You can get that response. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in my March or June batch, whichever batch you're interested in. And inshallah, hopefully you will have an amazing experience studying APM with me. So see you all. Thank you.